Okay, today we continue another part of chapter 4, reporting and storytelling. We are going to see how to think like a designer. When designing dashboard, learning the basic gestalt principles of visual perception is essential apart from exploring how to convey actionable information vividly in a context. So gestalt principles are principles or laws of human perception that describe how humans group similar elements, recognize pattern and simplify complex images when we perceive object. So gestalt principle ni dia berkaitan dengan macam mana human perception menangani ataupun handle group of similar element bila diberi satu-satu objek, macam mana kita tendensi kita untuk groupkan elemen-elemen yang sama, macam mana kita mengenal pattern-pattern tertentu dan macam mana kita simplify, kita mempermudahkan complex images tu. Okay, so guideline to create perfect design for a dashboard. So mestilah ada kriteria ataupun garis panduan tertentu untuk kita menghasilkan design yang bagus untuk satu-satu dashboard. So each dashboard has its own purpose and conveys different kind of information. There are some common pieces of advice suitable for all types of progress report. So stick to the 5-second rule. It should take no more than 5 seconds for the user to find the most important information on the dashboard. The user wants to have all their questions answered as quickly as possible. So dengan apa yang dimaksudkan dengan 5-second rule ni, maksudnya dalam masa 5 saat bila orang melihat kepada dashboard ataupun image ataupun info yang kita cuba sampaikan tu, dia dah dapat menangkap info yang kita nak sampaikan melalui dashboard tu dalam masa kurang, maksudnya tidak lebih daripada 5 saat. That is the 5-second rule. Kemudian second one, take care of creating a clear and logical layout. Divide all the information, your charts, into 3 parts, either horizontal or vertical arrangement. So you can choose either to make your design in horizontal or vertical. Okay, you divide into 3 part, bahagikan kepada 3 bahagian, sama ada vertical ataupun horizontal. Put the columns in descending order of importance. Maksudnya info yang paling penting kita letak paling atas, paling kita give priority to the most important info to be delivered to the target audience. Okay, kemudian barulah yang kurang penting. So put the most significant indicators on the top, continue with the trends that explain the above inside and put details that allow to learn the issue deeper at the end. Okay. So macam yang saya katakan tadi, yang paling penting most significant dulu, kemudian barulah kita explain dia punya trend, apa yang tersembunyi di sebalik trend tersebut, the above insight. Kemudian barulah kita masuk kepada narrow down, kita go deeper and deeper at the end. Maksud mula-mula tu general yang paling penting, idea yang paling penting, trend dia, apa yang tersembunyi di sebalik trend, kemudian barulah kita explain detail dia secara mendalam, deeper at the end. This will make the dashboard clear and easy to read. Maksudnya daripada general idea yang paling penting, kemudian kita narrow down. Okay. The third one, display only key metrics. Do not overwhelm the user with too many details. Jangan terlalu berserabutlah dashboard tu. Letakkan hanya kata kunci yang penting sahaja. Human memory allows us to perceive about 7 visuals at a time. So otak manusia boleh mengingat ataupun memproses 7 visuals dalam satu masa. A good dashboard should present from 5 to 9. Yang ni paling maksimum lah, 9. Okay. So visualize data in an appropriate way. Organize all the information to make it easy to understand. Cuba organize info yang nak disampaikan tu. Okay, secara tersusun dan mudah untuk difahami. For example, pie chart are suitable for comparing several indicators, while graph are good for tracking changes in trend in a timeline. So this one back to our previous chapters kan. Saya selalu highlight that the choice of the correct chart is very important. So contohnya pie chart untuk membandingkan beberapa kategori tertentu, several indicators. Okay, tapi kalau melibatkan kita nak tengok perubahan melawan masa, yang tu lebih sesuai dengan kita gunakan timeline punya chart. Okay, nak tengok trend. Okay, macam mana sesuatu tu berubah mengikut masa, itu lebih sesuai guna timeline. Okay, these are the Gestalt principles of visual perception. So, there are 6 of them: enclosure, similarity, closure, proximity, continuation, and connectedness. Okay, enclosure means if a border surround a series of element or object, they are considered to be a part of the same group. And then similarity, similar appearing objects are perceived to be part of the same group. Of course lah, kalau kita tengok benda tu mempunyai ciri-ciri yang sama, kelihatan sama, kita akan conclude sebagai berada dalam satu kumpulan yang sama. And then closure, when an object is incomplete and without any borders, it is perceived to be in continuation with other surrounding objects. Ini closure. Kalau proximity, objects that are close to one another are perceived to be part of the same group. Mana objek yang berdekatan, kita akan mudah mentafsirkannya sebagai berada dalam satu group. And then continuation, object plot along a continuous pattern appears to be a part of the same group. Okay, dari segi continuation. Connectedness pun sama. When we see object connected by any uniform visual property, we will perceive them as a group. Okay, ini adalah ciri-ciri yang mana menjadi faktor untuk kita menafsirkan sesuatu itu sebagai satu kumpulan, satu group. Okay, the same group, as a group dan sebagainya. Okay, next, let's move to element of visual design. Apakah elemen yang kita perlu consider? We need to consider when we design a visual. Okay, first of all, selection of the right chart. Okay, this is very important because when you choose the correct chart, you're going to bagi info yang tepat lah. Maksudnya user dapat melihat info yang cuba disampaikan dengan lebih mudah. Okay, dengan selection of the right chart. Maksudnya apa yang kita nak sampaikan tu mudah difahami. Kemudian our purpose is easy to be achieved. Apa yang kita nak sampaikan tu lebih mudah difahami, lebih mudah untuk kita mencapai objektif kita. Kemudian chart title. Chart title, of course, a good title, catchy title will give basic idea to the target audience about what you are going to tell, what you are going to present to them. Title tu sendiri sudah pun memberi makna. Okay, apa yang bakal disampaikan dan apa yang bakal difahami oleh target user. And then labeling, of course, your graph should be labelled properly. Kalau tak orang tak tahu apa axis ni, apa melawan apa. Warna ni, biru ni represent what? Red represent what? Okay, and then comparison. Okay, of course, for visual design, we have element of comparison. We're going to see later. Data ordering. Okay, readability ni maksudnya macam mana you present data you supaya mudah untuk dibaca, dilihat. Okay, color, position, shape, distance, orientation, size, area. Kadang-kadang kita tak naklah graf tu terlalu kecil. Orang nak tengok pun tak nampak apa dia punya significant trend tu. Okay, length, value. Value pun sama, skala yang digunakan should be appropriate. Okay, texture, slope, dia. Okay, kita nak tunjuk whether certain pattern tu increase gradually ke, abruptly ke. Okay, and then thickness also represent importance of certain pattern kan, angle dan sebagainya. Okay, so let's look at the first one, the right chart. There may be more than one way to visualize the data correctly. Choose one that tells the story. Okay, ada banyak cara ada banyak jenis chart yang boleh kita pilih. Ada pie chart, bar chart. Okay, so isunya how to choose the correct one. Okay, so pilih yang mana dapat menyampaikan apa yang you nak sampaikan tu dengan baik. So consider what simple elements might be added, tweaked or removed to make the data easier for the reader to understand. Untuk memudahkan orang memahami apa yang kita nak sampaikan. Okay, line charts are useful when displaying pattern or change over time. As I said previously, bila melibatkan perubahan trend, melibatkan masa, then you should consider timeline punya graph. Okay, kalau scatter usually for showing correlation or distribution. Okay, correlation between two variables or more. Okay, donut chart are helpful when data adds up to a meaningful whole. You have less than 7 categories in your data series. Okay, kalau terlalu banyak macam tak sesuai jugalah donut chart. And you would like to plot more than one series of data. So these subtle tweaks make a huge difference. Okay. So consider these 4 types of data. Okay, this one we have covered in the first chapter. Nominal data. Okay, data should be sorted into categories. Ordinal, arbitrary, numerical scale. Discrete, represent unit. Continuous can be measured as on a continuum. Okay, then you can see types of chart suitable for those type of 4 types of data. Okay, then you can see also comparison between incorrect and correct. For example, you have social customer service. Okay, kita tak nak lah. Kita nak title yang tepat, simple kan. Tak nak yang macam terlalu overwhelm. Macam yang sebelah on your left kan, the figure on your left, customer service, terlalu berwarna-warni dia punya title. Dengan star kat situ. So I don't think we need that. So just enough if we have social customer service, satu jenis font sahaja. Don't overwhelm your visual. And then yang sebelah kiri tu kita ada pie chart. Okay, then bila you want to compare macam something like macam excellent, awful, average, semua tu ada level tertentu. It's better to use the bar macam tu. Okay, showing percentage, and you may use one tone color, for example red. Okay, you use yang paling terang untuk excellent. Okay, and then you tone down your color. Okay, to show mediocre, awful, average, and so on. Okay, so it is better than you use pie chart with different colors for different level, excellent, average. Okay, those are the same category. Excellent semua tu maksudnya customer service punya level. Okay, tetapi berbeza dia kategori yang sama, bukan benda yang berbeza, tetapi dia yang ni adalah dia adalah rating. Jadi rating tu dia adalah sama rating, dia bukan kategori yang berbeza macam male, female, bukan dua kategori yang berbeza. Dia rating yang sama tetapi level rating tu yang, jadi kita lebih sesuai guna bar dengan one tone color. Okay, Okay, next, let's look at the next one. Do not over-explain. So when you design a visual, you can use, for example, arrow, call out. Okay, keep chart and graph headers simple and to the point. Okay, for example, this one, incorrect of fruitastic sale season. Strawberry season never look better. So, tak perlu macam terlalu dramatik, berbunga-bunga macam tu. So, just go straight. Simple, tepat dan padat. Okay, sampai. Strawberry sales by month. Kalau macam ni, orang pun mungkin macam macam confused. Okay, what are you going to tell, kan? So, yang ni memang simple, tepat dan padat. Okay, orang bila sekali tengok strawberry sales by month. Okay, orang dah tahu ini adalah data jualan strawberry mengikut bulan. Okay, berbanding dengan yang ni orang akan confused kejap ataupun they have to think what are you going to tell. Okay, keep chart and graph header simple and to the point, direct to the point. Use callouts wisely. Do not use distracting font or element. Macam yang tadi kan. Okay, ada gambar bintang warna-warni tak sesuai. Okay, just put it straight to the point. Okay, you can use macam anak panah macam ni. Okay, to highlight use numbers to highlight the bar ataupun the month that you are going to emphasize. Okay, and then next one is labeling. Okay, labeling, double check that everything that needs to be labelled are labelled. Okay, pastikan ada label. Apa yang sepatutnya di label, perlu ada label. Make sure labels are visible. Okay, for example, this one, Coca-Cola, Red Bull, Converse. Okay, label the lines directly. Do not over label. Maksudnya tak perlulah kalau sini you dah tulis Coca-Cola, you letak lagi botol Coca-Cola kat sini kan. So, double label lah ni. Okay, do not over label. If your exist labels are too crowded, consider removing every other label on an exist to allow the text to fit comfortably. Maksudnya kalau macam ni, this one is better sebab apa? Yang sebelah kanan on your the one on your right is better because apa? Yang ni horizontal punya bar. Okay, dia kurang serabut sebab apa? Yang ni tulisan ni kan. Tulisan ni dia letak sebelah kiri, kemudian dia punya value sebelah kanan. Berbanding dengan yang ni, agak serabut kat sini. Okay, semua kita tulis kat situ. Okay, so agak serabut. Okay, this one, if your exist labels too crowded, consider removing every other label. Okay. Okay, next, comparison. So, this one, data visualization makes comparison a lot easier. Bila you nak compare, let's look at these two. Okay. Yang mana lebih mudah untuk kita nampak comparison? What do Facebook users want from brands? Okay. Yang ni entertainment, discount, customer service. Okay. Benda yang sama tetapi yang ni orang lebih mudah nampak sebab kita letak dalam bentuk bar chart and we put it in order. Okay. Descending order. So, orang boleh nampak, okay, entertainment, discount, customer service. Berbanding dengan yang ni, even though you put the value in percentage, walaupun orang nampak percentage, this one is the highest percentage, followed by this one and the last one this. Tapi sekali pandang, a quick glance, orang akan nampak, orang tak terus nampak tinggi rendah tu. Kalau yang ni, orang lebih mudah buat conclusion, jump to the conclusion. So, include a zero baseline if possible. Maknanya ada zero baseline lah. Okay. Untuk graph kan. Okay, letting you actually see how two different datasets stack up to each other. Bila you nak compare, consider use this type of graph. Watch your placement. You may have two nice stack bar chart that are meant to let your reader compare point, but if they are placed too far apart to get the comparison, you have already lost. So kalau you nak compare contoh A dengan C, pastikan A tu duduk bersebelahan dengan C. Okay, tapi kalau macam you letak jauh, A lepas tu tengah tu ada B, D, Z, lepas tu baru C, orang akan susah untuk nampak comparison di antara variable yang you cuba nak tunjukkan, yang you nak compare tu. Okay, always choose the most efficient visualization. You want visual consistency so that the reader can compare at a glance. Okay, putting two charts side by side make it more confusing. Okay, kalau macam ni, imagine you have to compare 32 different pie chart. Okay, kalau macam ni you ada banyak sangat pie chart suruh orang compare, dia akan jadi confusing. Okay, data ordering pun penting. Macam tadi juga, you put in descending order, yang paling tinggi kemudian rendah-rendah. Okay, data visualization is meant to help make sense of data representation. Random pattern that are difficult to interpret are frustrating and detrimental, harmful to what you are trying to communicate. Ini kalau 4 je mungkin taklah terlalu suka untuk target audience. Tapi bayangkan kalau ada 10 bar chart, kalau you tak arrange it properly, descending ke ascending, it might be difficult for the target audience to get what you are going to tell them. Okay, so order data intuitively. There should be logical hierarchy. Some ada alphabetically, sequentially, or by value. Order consistently. Order evenly. Use natural increment. Skala pun kena take care juga. Okay, 0, 5, 10, 15, 5, 5, 5, skala gandaan 5. Okay, instead of awkward or uneven even increment. Contohnya, mungkin graph you tiba-tiba you guna 0, kemudian 3, 5, skala yang tidak standard. Dia akan menyebabkan target audience confused juga. Okay. Okay, next one, readability. Make sure you improve the readability of your visual. Okay, chart should make it quick, easy and painless to understand your data. Okay, let's try to see these two. Yang sebelah kiri ni kita ada grid line and this one tak ada. Okay, so when you already put the value macam ni, tak perlu dah grid line ni. Grid line ni akan tambah messy kan, macam berserabut. So it's better not to put the grid line, and lagipun macam susah untuk orang nak tengok, go through with the line. Lepas tu ni kan dengan skala ni kan nak tengok value untuk setiap satu. It's better you write down directly on each bar the value. Okay, so chart should make it quick, easy and painless to understand the data. Jadi orang tak perlulah nak follow line ni ke value yang sepatutnya nak tahu value tu. So remove extra ink in the form of borders, grid line and even legend to simplify your graph overall look. Okay, for example, instead of legend and y-axis, label data directly with its category and quantity. Okay, letak terus quantity. Kemudian this one, okay, investment by area of impact. Okay, yang ni kita letak terus. Okay, to increase readability for bar graph with multiple categories with long name, bila ada nama yang panjang, so it's better you use this type of chart, horizontal, ni bar chart. Okay, and arrange data from greatest to least in descending order. Keep your audience from craning their necks in order to read long labels. Okay, tak nak menyusahkan target audience untuk baca ni. Okay, buang grid line, buang juga y-axis ni. Terus tulis, write down directly the value, and then you may use colors, okay, to highlight the importance of each bar. Okay, next one, color again about colour, use single colour to represent the same type of data. Macam yang tadilah, yang data rating tadi. Rating tu satu benda yang sama, cuma level je yang berbeza. Bukannya macam male, female, bukan benda yang, bukan type. Okay, jadi untuk data yang jenis macam tu, you can use pie chart, but try to use one colour. Just differentiate the tone. Do not use red for positive numbers. Another guideline, don't use red for positive or green for negative. Biasanya red ni untuk negative, green for positive. So those colours association are so strong, it will automatically flip the meaning in the viewer's mind. So dalam kepala kita biasanya merah tu salah, right, wrong, right? Green is correct. Okay, kalau tanda dekat WhatsApp pun tanda tick tu hijau, tanda pangkah tu wrong kan, merah. So make sure there is sufficient contrast between colours. Avoid pattern, elak pattern macam stripe belang-belang ke, polka dot ke, yang macam walaupun dia sound fun, but they can be incredibly distracting the data that you are going to present. Select colour appropriately. Do not use more than 6 colours in single layout. Jangan terlalu macam rainbow lah. Kemudian, okay, how we can also use gradient colours. Gradient colours can be great to show a pattern. Untuk menunjukkan pattern tertentu. For example, on choropleth map, but it is hard to decipher the actual values from them and to see differences between the values. Consider showing your most important values with bar position like in a dot plot or even areas, and use colours to show only categories. Berbanding dengan yang ni kan, not ideal. Not ideal sebab apa? Dia cuba guna gradient colour ni untuk represent level of richness, poorness ni kan. Jadi bilangan orang dia letakkan dalam bentuk dot ni. Okay, dia cuba represent bilangan orang dengan dia punya level of richness, poorness ni dengan warna tu, gradient of colour. Tidak sesuai. So it's better if you use, okay, macam A dengan B, kategori orang A dengan B, kemudian poor or rich ni kan, poor or rich kat sini, guna macam ni je. Okay, okay, kalau ikut yang graf ni, bilangan orang, A blue and then B green. Okay, yang ni level of poor or rich ni. Okay. So readers will be able to decipher your value faster. Okay. And then this one, variety of colors make it easy to let readers distinguish between categories in your data, but try to avoid more than 6 colors in a chart. Okay, kalau macam ni, warna pun hampir sama, jadi it makes it difficult for the target audience to identify the difference. Ada colour yang hampir sama, right? Jadi susah untuk kita nampak kategori. Dah mungkin confusing juga. Mungkin antara H dengan M hampir sama warna dia. Okay. C dengan D pun hampir sama. Okay. So the more colours in a chart represent your data, the harder it becomes to read it quickly. Your readers will need to often consult the colour key. Kena tengok, ini betul ke colour biru ni kan? Okay, if you need more than 6 colours, consider using another chart type or to group categories together. So the one on your left not ideal, so better to use this one. Okay, contohnya nak tunjukkan perbezaan A dengan B. So better use macam ni, grey. Guna grey. Okay. So it is not a good idea to use too many colours in a visualization. So you can see, kita nak tunjukkan perbezaan A, B, C sampai M ni kan, A, B, C, D, E, F, G sampai M ni. Okay, so dua kategori. So yang ni Guna je A, B, C sampai and the rest. Buat dua-sided. Put it in two-sided. You can use grey also. Okay. Okay. Selain daripada guna warna-warni ni, guna dua side macam ni untuk tunjukkan perbezaan sebelah kanan dan kiri. Okay. Lebih mudah untuk orang nampak. Okay. Next. Guidelines in choosing colours. Use the same colour for the same variable. Okay. Kalau you tengok not ideal. Kenapa not ideal and then sebelah tu better? Contoh you ada timeline graph. Okay, you compare UK and China. So first you put UK red and China blue. Kemudian later you ada another graph, pie chart, China and Germany. And then you change. China tadinya you guna biru, kemudian you guna merah. Walaupun sekarang ni China dengan, you compare China dengan Jerman, walaupun tadi UK dengan China, you sepatutnya guna be consistent. Untuk China, kalau you dah guna biru, you guna biru lah. Okay? Supaya tak confuse. Kadang-kadang target audience bila sekali tengok dia boleh jadi confuse. So use the same color for the same variables. Using the same color is the best option to avoid overly colorful article juga sebenarnya. For example, it is okay to show the unemployment rate in blue in the first chart and a few graph later a gross domestic product chart with the same color. To not confuse readers and increase comparability, consider only using these colors again if you are showing data about the same category or country or etc. So kalau tengok yang chart, the better one chart, okay, UK red, China blue. And then for another graph, which is pie chart, blue is used for China, okay, to compare with German. So China is consistent, blue. Okay. Okay, next one is make sure to explain to readers what your color encode. Penting juga untuk kita ada explanation. Color ni untuk represent variable yang mana. So every visual mark that represent a value or variable should be explained. What does the height of your bar mean? Okay. What does the size of your symbol, the circles on a symbol map represent? Okay. The same is true for colors. There are many ways to create color key. So color key, you can use bar macam ni. Okay. Ataupun you can write, for example, you want to compare China and German. So, you write the word China in red and German for blue. It is automatically understood that if you have, later you have a pie chart, red for China and blue for German. Though maksudnya you tak tulis merah tu untuk China, German tu biru, tapi you dah ada this sentence and you highlight China in red, you write German in blue, so it is understood. The target audience will understand that the pie chart red for China and blue for Germany. Okay, same for this one. Okay, next one, another guideline in choosing colors. Consider the color grey as the most important color in data visualization. Okay, contoh you ada timeline yang macam ni, ada sampai 6, 7, 8 line. Then you cuma nak highlight satu pattern sahaja among those 6 or 7, 8 pattern. So you can use only blue for the one that you want to highlight and the rest you use grey. So using grey for less important element in your chart makes your highlight colours, which should be reserved for your most important data, stick out even more. Grey is also helpful for general context data, less important annotation to show what is unselected by the user or to tone down the overall visual impression of your chart. Maksudnya kita tak nak highlight benda lain. Kita nak highlight satu trend yang kita nak tunjuk je pada user. Yang lain kita boleh jadikan dia grey. So these are combination for grey. Grey plus grey with yellow, orange or red. Okay, another very light color. For example, super light yellow. Do not use red and green or orange and green to make comparison on the same chart. About 10% of men are color blind, with red or green being the most common form of color blindness. So orange is close to red, making this color completely unnoticeable. So in order to make your chart more accessible to your audience, avoid this color combination at all costs. Jangan guna orange dengan red. Okay, kalau tak nampak perbezaan dia. Terutamanya kalau orang tu ada color blindness. Okay. Okay, so next one is make sure your contrast are high enough. Bila you nak buat macam title ke, background of the title dengan tulisan tu, you kena make sure high contrast. So your readers will be able to read your chart on their screen even in low light or even if you use light colors like grey. So this is especially important for text. The smaller the text, the higher its contrast to the background needs to be. Maksudnya kalau huruf tu kecil, kontras tu kena lebih tinggi. Okay, the contrast ratio between background and foreground should be at least 2.5 for big text and at least 4 for small text. So you boleh nampak lah kalau untuk small text kena ada 4. Dia punya level of contrast lah. Okay, boleh compare kat sini. Okay. And then avoid complementary hues macam red dengan green tak sesuai, orange dengan blue and bright colours for background. Untuk background tak sesuai warna yang striking macam ni, menyakitkan mata. Sebab kalau macam dia semacam samalah macam kalau you pergi satu website tu warna merah terang striking ataupun very yellow kan, sakit mata. Jadi you nak berlama-lama nak baca pun jadi tak selesa. Okay. And then another guideline in choosing colour, consider where your colours appears in relation to each other. The smaller the areas of your chart and the bigger the distance between them, the harder it is to compare them. Okay, contoh you nak guna untuk scatter plot ke, warna yang lebih kurang sama tak sesuai. Sebab semakin kecil area yang macam dot ni kan, walaupun warna dia berbeza, you tak akan tak nampak. It is not obvious. You want to compare. So consider giving small point or line a high contrast in their hue or brightness to make them easily distinguishable. Tapi kalau untuk big area, dia akan nampak perbezaan tu walaupun sedikit. So for big areas can handle toned down colours with little contrast macam ni. Okay, especially if there is no other background colour between the areas. Tidak ada pemisah kan, dia rapat macam ni, lebih mudah untuk nampak dia punya perbezaan colour hue tu. Okay, next one is use intuitive colours. Okay, when choosing a colour palette, consider their meaning in the culture of your target audience. So, macam contohnya pink untuk perempuan, blue for male, kan. So, if possible, use colours that readers will associate with your data. Natural colours, biasanya green for forest, blue for water, lake, kan. Learn colours, red. Red need for attention. Macam banjir, red ni tanda amaran, jingga berjaga-jaga kan. Green tu masih lagi selamat, good to go kan. Okay, so boleh tengok kat sini. Okay, male, female. Okay. Okay, next one. Use light colours for low values and dark colour for high value. Kebiasaannya bila kita nak visualize, dark colour ni untuk high value. Low colour, light colour untuk low values. This will be most intuitive for most user. Kita automatic akan understood yang terang tu, yang gelap tu adalah untuk high value. Okay, yang pekat tu kan. Yang light tu untuk low value. Do not use gradient color palette for categories and the other way around. Okay, macamnya it might be tempting to use shade of one hue even for categories to make your chart look less colorful. Okay. However, since many readers will associate dark colors with more high and bright colors with less low, such color palette will imply a ranking. Biasanya untuk ranking lah kalau lebih terang, kurang terang. Jadi tak sesuai untuk macam you nak represent untuk orang yang berbeza. Ivan, David, semua ni kena guna colour yang berbeza. Tidak boleh guna satu tone sahaja. Use different hues, green, yellow, pink, etc. for your categories to avoid that and to be able to talk about these colours. Readers might be quicker at finding specific categories if you make their colours stand out with different lightness or saturation, but note that your chart should explain why these colours stand out. Okay, kena ada legend lah. So if you find your chart to be too colorful, consider another chart type for your data. Okay, kemudian guideline in choosing colours juga, use lightness to build gradient, not just hues. When designing color gradient, lots of consideration is needed. Do not place more than 2 hues with the same lightness in your gradient, but design it from a bright color to a dark color. Okay, your gradient should work in black and white too. Gradient with much variation in lightness, like rainbow, can confuse readers. Yang ni tidak sesuai lah, terlalu berwarna-warni. And then consider using 2 hues for gradient, not just one. Make your map or chart even more decipherable. Readers will be able to distinguish the colours on the gradient better if they are encoded through lightness and 2 or 3 carefully selected hues. Okay, pemilihan hues tadi. Okay, yang ni lebih mudah lah berbanding yang ni satu tone kan, satu hue sahaja, yang ni 2 hues. Okay, next. Okay, we can see this one. Consider using diverging color gradient. Okay, yang ni lebih mudah berbanding dengan sebelah kiri. If you want to emphasize how variable divert from baseline, you may want to consider using diverging palette. It is important to use clearly distinguishable hues for both sides of the gradient. The center color should ideally be light grey, not white. Okay, and then this one. Consider using diverging color gradient also. You boleh tengok lah pemilihan warna kat sini. Avoid using green and red shade together, even though they are both useful connotation. You can still use them, but make sure to have some additional visual cues. Okay, bold, varying brightness for adding simple plus minus sign in front of the numbers to ensure they stand out. Okay, instead of red and green, you could use blue for positive and orange for negative. Ini adalah pilihan warna yang sesuai lah. Okay, there are many different types of colour blindness. Ni sebenarnya kenapa kita consider pasal colour ni, dia disebabkan ada sesetengah orang dia colour blindness. Okay, colour blindness, ada colour blindness. So kalau macam kan kalau you all relate dengan pemeriksaan mata tu, ada kadang-kadang kita untuk check mata kita ada colour blind ke tak, dia ada one, kalau you ingat lagi, kita akan disuruh melihat nombor yang ditulis dalam susunan warna kan, untuk check, if you still remember. So sebab itulah pemilihan warna ni penting. Okay, and the last one is size matters. Relative size denote relative importance. Contohnya bila you nak highlight sesuatu yang penting, you boleh buat bold. Okay, trend yang you nak highlight, nak emphasize pada target audience, you make it bold. If you are showing multiple things that are roughly equal importance, the size should be similar. So if there is one really important thing, put it in bold. Leverage the size to indicate that, make it big. Okay.